All right, in this video we're going to look at finding the center and radius of a circle when the circle is not written in standard form. So to get this standard form of a circle, perform the following steps. So what we're going to have is we're going to have all of our terms on one side and a 0 on the other. So we're going to start by bringing our constant over to the other side of the equation. Then from there, we're going to find the vertex of the x terms and the vertex of the y terms. So the x coordinates of each vertex are going to represent your h and your k respectively. And then you're going to look at the absolute values of the y coordinates and add those absolute values to the constant that's on the right-hand side. Now, all that sounds like it sounds confusing. And once we start seeing a couple of these problems in action, hopefully that should take care of any confusion. I will advise that when we get to finding the vertex for the y terms, we're going to change things up slightly, and I'll explain that when we get there. So example 2, identify the center and exact radius of each. So here we have all of our terms on the left and a 0 on the right. So we have x squared minus 4x plus y squared plus 6y minus 23 equals 0. So our first step was to bring the 23 over to the right-hand side. And we get x squared plus minus 4x, so I coded those in blue, and then plus y squared minus 6y, and I coded those in red. Now, we're going to want to find the vertex of x squared minus 4x. So we can just type that into Desmos as x squared minus 4x, and we get the vertex of that at 2, negative 4. So the vertex of x squared minus 4x is at 2, negative 4. Now, the y squared minus 6y. What you're going to want to do for this, and this is actually, if you remember when you graph y squared minus 6y, that your h and your k switch when your parabolas are opening left and right, then everything will be okay. But I'm going to strongly recommend that what you actually graph for this is, instead of y squared minus 6y, graph x squared minus 6x. So if we graph x squared minus 6x, we get a vertex of 3, negative 9. And just to show you what the vertex is, if we do graph y squared minus 6y, I'm going to go x equals here. And notice we get negative 9, 3, and here we had 3, negative 9. So when you switch the x's and y's, your h's and k's switch as well. But again, I'm going to strongly urge you to graph them all as with x's as the variable. So our vertex, graphing this as x squared minus 6x, not y squared minus 6y, our vertex is 3, negative 9. And so what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite these equations in almost like their parabola form. So we're going to take x minus 2 in parentheses squared, so x minus this first x coordinate for the vertex, so x minus 2 in parentheses squared, plus y minus 3 in parentheses squared, and that's going to equal the 23 plus the absolute value of negative 4, so we don't have to worry about the negative anymore, plus the absolute value of negative 9, and we won't have to worry about the negative there either. So we have x minus 2 in parentheses squared plus y minus 3 in parentheses squared equals the 23 plus the absolute value of negative 4 plus the absolute value of negative 9. We're going to use similar techniques for ellipses and also hyperbolas, but there'll be slight variations as to how to get those equations. When we simplify the right-hand side, we get 23 plus 4 plus 9 is 36. So this circle's equation in standard form is x minus 2 in parentheses squared plus y minus 3 in parentheses squared equals 36. And now from here, we can identify the center is 2, 3, and the radius is the square root of 36, which is 6. So our goal is to get this equation to look like the equations from example 1 in the last video. All right, part B, x squared plus 16x plus y squared minus 8y minus 1 equals 0. So first step, let's add the 1 to both sides. We get x squared plus 16x plus y squared minus 8y equals 1. For x squared plus 16x, our vertex is negative 8, negative 64. And again, just so I don't have to remember I switch my h and k if I'm graphing x equals y squared minus 8y, I'm going to graph x squared minus 8x, and I'm going to get a vertex of 4, negative 16. Again, this vertex of 4, negative 16 is from graphing x squared minus 8x. So now I have x minus negative 8 in parentheses squared, which becomes x plus 8 in parentheses squared, plus y minus 4 in parentheses squared equals this 1 plus the absolute value of negative 64 plus the absolute value of negative 16. When we combine the terms on the right-hand side and simplify them, we get 81. So our equation of this circle is x plus 8 in parentheses squared plus y minus 4 in parentheses squared equals 81. And if we want to check that that's right, if we graph the original problem and then graph the answer we have for the equation, they should be the same graph. But in any event, the center of this circle here is negative 8 and 4, and the radius is the square root of 81, which is 9. All right, part C, we have x squared minus 10x plus y squared plus 2y plus 14 equals 0. Step 1, we're going to subtract 14 from both sides. And we're going to find the vertex for x squared minus 10x, and then find the vertex for x squared plus 2x. Again, changing the y squared plus 2y to x squared plus 2x. The vertex for x squared minus 10x is 5, negative 25, and the vertex for x squared plus 2x is negative 1, negative 1. I guess for this one, since the x and y's are the same, you could have graphed y squared plus 2y and it wouldn't have mattered. But in any event, we have x minus 5 in parentheses squared plus y minus a negative 1 becomes y plus 1 in parentheses squared equals, this should be a negative 14 over here. Okay, so this is a negative 14 plus the absolute value of negative 25 plus the absolute value of negative 1. So apologize for the typo here. In any event, when we do 14 plus 25 plus 1, we get 40. So our circle's equation in standard form is x minus 5 in parentheses squared plus y plus 1 in parentheses squared equals 40. And the center is at 5, negative 1. The square root of 40 is the square root of 4 times the square root of 10, which is 2 times the square root of 10 for our radius. All right, that about does it for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you